Welcome back, everybody. Let's talk about a new great Canadian ship, a personal favorite of mine, Her Majesty's Canadian ship, Haida. Full disclosure, HMCS Haida was one of the main reasons why I joined the Royal Canadian Navy. I've spent many time on her, and I think the ship is actually beautiful. She was commanded at the time by Commander Henry George, or Harry DeWolf. We have a new ship named after her in the Royal Canadian Navy. DeWolf took command of HMCS Haida in August of 1943. Under DeWolf, Haida, as mentioned, earned a reputation as the fightingest ship in the Canadian Navy, and under his command was responsible for sinking 14 enemy ships in just over a year, earning numerous accolades. Haida and DeWolf saw service with convoys to Murmansk, as well as operations to secure the English Channel in preparation for Operation Overlord, the invasion of Normandy. Most of his most famous battles took place at night in the English Channel, when DeWolf secured his reputation as a fearless and skillful tactician and became known to his crew as Hard Over Harry for bold maneuvers off the coast of France. DeWolf earned the Distinguishing Service Order for rescuing survivors of HMCS Athabaskan within range of enemy coastal guns on the French coast. DeWolf left Haida and was recalled to Ottawa, where he was promoted to captain in September of 1944, becoming Assistant Chief of Naval Staff. To this day, Admiral DeWolf is one of my heroes. Haida was born from the tribal class destroyers. They were class destroyers built by the Royal Navy, Royal Canadian Navy, and Royal Australian Navy that saw service in World War II. Originally conceived during design studies for a light fleet cruiser, the Tribals evolved into a fast, powerful destroyer with greater emphasis on guns over torpedoes than previous destroyers. In response to the new design by Japan, Italy, and Germany, the Tribals were admired by their crew and the public when they were in service due to their power, often becoming symbols of prestige while in service. Canada built 8 Tribal-class destroyers, with Haida being the 4th in the line. Haida was ordered in April of 1940, launched in August 1942, and commissioned the following year in August of 1943. The Tribals were designed to fight heavy armed destroyers of other navies, such as the Japanese or IJN Fubuki-class destroyers. Canada chose the design based on its armaments, the size and power of the Tribal class, allowing them to act more like small cruisers than a fleet destroyer. Haida was among the first batch of Tribal-class destroyers ordered from the Royal Canadian Navy through 1940 to 1941. They were ordered with modified ventilation and heating systems for the North Atlantic winters. I can assure you, as someone who's actually sailed the Royal Canadian Navy in the North Atlantic, it is cold, and my job was outdoors. High design was modified, and then deficiencies were noted in the lead ship of the Canadian Tribals, HMCS Iroquois. As built, Haida was fitted with 6 quick-firing 4.7-inch Mark 11 guns placed in 3 turrets, a design that's A, B, and Y from bow to stern. The turrets were placed on 40-degree mounts with high open back shields. The ship also had 1 twin turret of a QF 4-inch or 102mm Mark 35 gun in the X position for secondary anti-aircraft armament. The destroyer was equipped with 4 single-mount 2-pounder pom-pom guns, more like AA guns. The vessel was also fitted with 4 21-inch or 533mm torpedo tubes for Mark 9 torpedoes. After commissioning, Haida was assigned to the Royal Navy's Home Fleet. On 15th November, the convoy Juliet Whiskey 54 Alpha sailed from Loch Ewe. Haida was among the destroyers that joined the escort from the 18th to 24th of November 1943. On the 28th of November, Haida was among the destroyers escorted the Russian convoy Romeo Alpha 54 Bravo, protecting it until it reached Loch Ewe on the 9th of December without a loss. The convoy, Juliet Whiskey 55 Bravo, sailed from Loch Ewe for Russia on December 20th. The winter, heading to Russia in the North Atlantic. Cold. Haida was a member of its ocean escort. The German battleship Scharnhorst was deployed to intercept the convoy. While the cruisers escorted the convoy, kept the German vessel at bay, Haida and the other escorting destroyers shepherded the convoy away from danger until the German battleship was sunk by a British task force. On the 23rd of December, the convoy was attacked by Junkers Ju-88 bombers, but escaped unscathed. Haida joined the escort of Romeo Alpha 55 Bravo on the return journey to the UK, which sailed from Kola Inlet on the 31st December and arrived on January 8, 1944. On January 10, 1944, she was reassigned to the 10th Destroyer Flotilla at Plymouth and took part in Operation Tunnel and Operation Hostile, sweeps in the Bay of Biscay and along the French coast of the English Channel. The 10th Flotilla, with the cruisers Black Prince and Belonia, formed Force 26. By April, Haida had sailed on 19 of the Operation Tunnel and Hostile missions. During the night of the 25th and 26th of April, Haida, with Black Prince and destroyer Asante, Athabaskan, and Huron, engaged a German 4th torpedo boat flotilla, comprising of the German Ebeling-class torpedo boats. These were actually destroyers, not as defined as torpedo boats, the T-29, T-24, and T-27. Despite the German designation as torpedo boats, the Elbings were essentially on a par with the mid-sized Atlantic destroyers, having just slightly smaller armament. The T-27 was hit early and retired to Moilex, while the Haida sank T-29 and T-24, was damaged before making St. Malo. Haida, mortar cutter, which was used to rescue the sinking of HMCS Athabaskan on April 28, 1944. On the night of the 28th, 29th April, T-24 and T-27 attempted to move from St. Malo to Brest, France, and encountered destroyers Athabaskan and Haida off St. Brieuc, which were performing a covering sweep as part of Operation Hostile. Athabaskan was torpedoed and sunk in an engagement. The T-24 is credited with sinking the ship. The Haida ran T-27 aground and set the vessel afire with shelling. The torpedo boat was later destroyed by MTB 673 of the Athabaskan's crew. 128 were lost, 44 survivors were recovered by Haida, and 83 survivors became prisoner of war of the Germans and were brought to France. Haida continued Operation Hostile sorties in company of her sister ship Huron. During weeks leading to the Operation Overlord, the 10th Destroyer Flotilla and were part of the covering force of surface attacks at the western entrance to the English Channel during the invasion of Normandy. On the 8th and 9th of June, Haida was part of Task Force 26, which engaged the German 8th Destroyer Flotilla comprising of Z-32, Z-24, ZH-1, and T-24. Some of these ships now you see today are actually in World of Warships. Northwest of Ile de Basse, Haida and Huron combined to sink the Z-32 in the Battle of Ushtant. Following the fall of Cherbourg, the German E-boats were transferred to Le Havre, freeing up the 10th Flotilla. The flotilla was then given the dual role of covering Allied motor torpedo boats, flotillas, and search and sinking missions against German shipping along the French coast. On the 24th of June, while on patrol in the English Channel off Land's End, investigating a Liberator bombing, dropping depth charges on the target, Haida and the British destroyer Eskimo, which is one of her sister ships, the Royal Navy version of the Travel-class destroyer, began their own depth charge attack after being informed that a submarine had been spotted. After several attacks, the submarine surfaced and attempted to run. Haida and the Eskimo engaged to fire with all their guns and sank U-971. Haida rescued 6 survivors of the sunken submarine. On the 14th and 15th of July, 1944, Haida and the ORP Blitzkowina, that's another boat, that's actually in World of Warships, the Polish boat, intercepted a group of German ships in the Isle de Gros area near Lorraine. The battle saw 2 submarine chasers, UJ-1420 and UJ-1421, destroyed. 1 merchant ship sunk, the other 2 set afire. On the 5th and 6th of August, Haida was part of a force engaged in Operation Kinetic Sweep. The force attacked a German convoy north of Ile de Dieu and sank the minesweepers M263 and M486. The patrol boat V414 and the coastal launch Otto. During the battle, a shell exploded in one of Haida's turrets and started a fire, killing 2 and injuring 8, knocking the turret out of action. Staying in the line of battle, the destroyer was engaged by shore batteries when they attempted to take on a second convoy that were forced to withdraw without doing much damage to the German merchant vessels. Haida, along with the Huron Iroquois, left for Halifax on the 4th of June to refit as part of Canada's contribution to Operation Downfall. That's the actual overall Allied invasion of the Japanese islands. They arrived the 10th of June and Haida started a tropicalization refit, but it was suspended after the surrender of the Japanese later that summer. Haida was paid off the 20th of March, 1946. So how does the Haida do in World of Warships? Well, despite my bias, she is a very capable destroyer at any tier she plays. She can see action at tier 5 to tier 9. Haida At her heart is a gunboat with torps. With at least 10, with at least a 10-point captain, you can unlock her best features, her concealment. With captain skills, flags, and camo, you can get the detectability down to 5.7 kilometers. It makes her one of the best concealments at Tier 7, and just about any of the best you'll see at any tier, from Tier 5 to Tier 9. The Haida has amazing hydro, with ship detectability at 3.5 kilometers and torps at 2 kilometers. With the upgrade, your hydro will also last over 3.5 minutes, which is fantastic. She also comes with over 2+ minutes of creeping smoke, so she can sail at a quarter speed and not be detected. Her smoke penalty for firing her main guns is 2.3 kilometers. One great tactic to do on other DDs is to gun them. Get them to pop their smoke, and you can charge them with hydro running. You can actually shoot and kill them in their own smoke, and they can't see you. Her guns are 3 turrets with 2 barrels each at 120 millimeter, and reload every 5 seconds with a base range of 12.3 kilometers. Her torps are 1 rack with 4 torps, which can be fired in a spread, small spread, or typical British single shot with a range of 8 kilometers and a speed of 62 knots. Reload is a bit slow at 86 seconds. Her top speed with flags is 38 knots, but she comes with a speed boost, which will take you to just over 41 knots. She is also highly maneuverable. This destroyer is so much fun to play in randos, operations, and even low-tier ranked battles. In patch 10.5, she'll be leaving the game forever. If you don't have this boat, go and get it. I will say my personal bias, the boat is a lot of fun. It's a bit of a hard boat to play if you're not used to playing destroyers, but she can work very well for you. Enjoy. Everyone, thanks, and take care and stay safe.
Generator started.
Destroyed an enemy battleship.